Whoa, ho, 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 and away we go. It's officially underway now, guys. We are turning the page on 2024, and Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles are making their mark on the 2025 Chicago Bears. Two big releases happening today as DeMarcus Walker and Gerlad Everett have been let go of from the franchise. Let me move me off screen. You can see some of the highlights here. Ari Mariov and Brad Biggs, Adam Schefter reporting these things. The Bears have terminated the contract of tight end Gerlad Everett. Bears told veteran tight end Gerlad Everett that they plan to release him, a move that will free up $5.5 million in cap space. And if you look at the bottom right here from Brad Biggs, defensive end DeMarcus Walker will also be released by the Bears, combined with tight end Gerlad Everett. The two moves, which were not expected, I don't agree with that, create more than $10 million in salary cap space. What this does do, though, it brings an end to the speculation, because over and over and over again, we speculate on these things. We see the things that are coming on the salary cap. We wonder where they are. It does not mean we're signing Trey Smith. It does not mean we're not signing Trey Smith. I see people out there saying, should I buy his jersey there yet? Carl, I'm pointing you out. What it does mean, and that's why I want to break this down for you guys and bring this video to you, is we now have more positions of need that we have to fill. So the salary cap is valuable, but they are freeing up space to get the guys that they want to build this roster the way they want to build it. Ben Johnson, Ryan Poles are going to leave their mark on this roster. And from the start, Gerlad Everett felt like that signing that was because of Shane Waldron didn't pan out. A lot of confusing things in the initial part of the year, getting more snaps than Cole Kmet, then not getting any targets, then the way they utilized him and nothing from Gerlad Everett's last year looked like anything compared to the rest of his career. So it made no sense how the Bears used him, but you can chalk that up to, Shane Waldron. I'm trying to figure out who to blame first. Matt Eberflus, Thomas Brown. The whole system didn't use them properly. Well, now Gerlad Everett, DeMarcus Walker can go find a home somewhere else. I did like DeMarcus Walker. I felt like he was the only reason they held our run contained together. But this just shows the Bears are going to be committed to fixing the defensive line this year as well. They will be committed to the trenches and to overhauling the whole team as a whole. Take me off screen and show you the implications. So here's the implications for it. First, we'll start with Gerlad Everett and his portion of the salary cap. This isn't the end result. This is just taking Gerlad Everett out, and it moves it down to 34 players on the 53-man roster, meaning we need 19 more. As we cut him, there is $1 million of dead cap, but we save $5.5 million in cap space, so it brings our usable cap up to $70,832,733. These aren't the figures you'll see other places, because again, they're using things like players that won't be on the 53-man roster, our undrafted or our reserve future contracts. They're using those because really the Bears only have 42 or 3. I don't know the exact number. 42 or 3 players under contract total, but only 34 of those would be on the 53-man roster. So we're giving you the full breakdown what it really looks like right now. So as we said with Gerlad Everett, never really came to fruition. Only 12 targets this year, 70 the year before, 89 the year before. So not utilized in a way that you would have expected. Frees up $70 million in cap space total. $5 million for him, but $70 million total is where we're at now. This is what the tight end room looks like now, though. Now you need a tight end 2 and a tight end 3. So this does not equate to, we've got more money to sign one player. It's we have more needs, but we can bring in guys that fit the system that they want to have in place and make this the team that Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson want to collaborate together on. That's what this means. So there's the tight end. And then here's some of the top free agents and draft picks. And I do think this means the Bears will go after one of the top guys, whether in free agency, maybe Mike Gesicki. Zach Ertz isn't on here, but he's another top one, just getting older, 35 years old. Tyler Conklin, Juwan Johnson. I think more of the route, but you might have to do both, like we've mocked in several of our mock drafts. And like I do in the mock drafts I've already made, I'm not going to change it. I hate when that happens, but I'm not going to change it. But Juwan, I do have signing a free agent and then drafting one as well, but I do think it means we'll take one of the higher ones. Probably not first rounders, but here in the second, third round, I can absolutely see the Bears taking one of them to learn behind Cole Kmet and then supplementing with the lower end free agent as well as a tight end 3. So that seems like the path they're headed towards. But again, that's just speculation. We move over here to the defensive end position and DeMarcus Walker, and this will be our final result of where we stand right now. There still could be more cuts. There could still be more things coming. Signed DeMarcus Walker after a decent season there with Tennessee, 8 sacks. He's played decently well. A few more missed tackles that you want, but he was kind of the only thing holding our run defense together. Like I said, this does just allude to the fact that they're probably going to invest heavily on the defensive side of the ball this year for the defensive line. He was technically our defensive end 2. Will they trade for Trey Hendrickson? Will they trade for Myles Garrett? Will they sign Khalil Mack or Josh Sweat? What will they do? Nobody knows. That's speculation. But it does bring our players down to 33. So we need 20 more players now with $76 million in spendable salary cap now. So it's a good position to be in. You see, cutting him cost us $666,668 of dead cap, but it saved us $5.25 million. So our new additions with these 2 players brings us to negative $1,666,668. Our total dead cap is only at $4 million combined now between what we had before and what we have added to it. And more importantly, our actual spendable salary cap, $76 million. So that's pretty huge. Well, here's what our room looks like now. You can see we crossed out DeMarcus Walker here. We removed him from our contract list. You now need a starting nose tackle, starting defensive end, and another defensive end. So one in free agency isn't out of the question. Do we draft 2? I don't know. Not with Austin Booker. So I think there's going to be something big in the works as far as a vet coming in and then signing one as well. And that goes perfectly with my mock draft that I'd create. I'm going to push that back a little bit now because of this big breaking news. But this goes perfectly with what I outlined in my mock draft for this afternoon. So this could fall right in line with what the Bears' plans are doing. But they do need some help on the defensive line now. As you know, you rotate these guys throughout every single game. So what move will be next? I have no clue. I kind of expect Dominic Robinson to be cut. Will they stick with Zach Pickens? He's only on year 2. He'll be going into year 3. Those things will yet to be answered. But these are some of the options they have going into free agency. They could sign Khalil Mack, but the price tag on him seems to be going up more and more. 2 years, $22 million a year. That's kind of what they're expecting there. 3 years, $18 million a year for Josh Sweat. Chase Young, 2 years, $17.5 million. These are PFF just anticipating what might happen in free agency. Who knows what's really going to happen there? Or could we trade for someone, like I mentioned, like Trey Hendrickson, who wants out of Cincinnati, who is upset with his contract situation, only making $17, $18 million this year and worth probably $30, $33 million a year. So will the Bears sign him and extend him and use a big portion of that salary cap on it? Or do we do a lower level defensive end and go high in the draft on one of these guys that are expected to go higher? James Pierce, Mikael Williams, Landon Jackson, Shamar Stewart, Mike Green, Jack Sawyer, Nick Scourton, Princely Uman-Mielen. All of these are options. In fact, one of each of these is actually still an option too. Both of those things could happen. Nothing is out of the realm of possibility, but we do have clarification in having that cap space and those players removed from the roster. So overall, here's a basic look at our needs, and we still need to add a couple more players just as depth pieces. So where you want to insert those is fine, but we need 20 players now to fill the 53-man roster. These are our 18 biggest needs. Now we need a left guard, center, right guard, wide receiver 3, running back 1 or 2, nose tackle, defensive end 2, linebacker, and that could be Jack Sanborn. We've talked about that. He could get tagged or, better yet, matched in restricted free agency. When somebody offers him, we can match their offer and keep him. We need a tight end 2, a long snapper. That's going to be the easiest one to fill at a league minimum contract. But then we need a backup right tackle or swing tackle. Need a left guard, backup center, wide receiver 5 or 4, wherever you put Tyler Scott at 4 or 5, the other one. Defensive end 3 or 4, depending on how you put Austin Booker. Tight end 3, nickelback, backup nickelback, and that could be Josh Blackwell, and this could be Jalen Jones. You know, we can tag both of them as well. Match in restricted free agency. Then here's a look at our picks, and this is speculation. Ian Cunningham, all reports indicate he's probably going to be hired by the Jacksonville Jaguars this week, most likely. So this is kind of what we're looking at here. A lot of options here, but we need to hit it in free agency now with $70 million in spendable cap space. And to be more exact, $76,082,733. And that's allocating your rookie cap space and your practice squad players. So if you add those back into it, you're going to see on paper we have roughly $92 million in cap space right now, but those things need to be allocated for. And that does account for 10 of those players, though. So really we need 10 good players on this actual cap, or maybe 12 or 13 or 14, because not all your draft picks hit. But we do have a lot of needs to fill, and that's coming up in just a little over a week from now, a little over 2 weeks from now. So we're getting right there to it. But that is your big news of today. We're turning the page on 2024. DeMarcus Walker and Gerlad Everett have officially both been released from the team. So I do appreciate you guys tuning in. If you haven't hit the like button, please do that for me, for the algorithm, to help me to spread this around. If you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, I do appreciate that as well. Hit the notification so you can know when I release something as well. I appreciate every one of you tuning in. Till next time, Da Bears and bear down.